So, get this, right? Marvel just started a new Deadpool ongoing series. And you know what, Bucky? Today I want to yap about it a little bit. Is it good? Is it bad? Do the jokes even land? And as always, we'll take a look at the character design and costume to see if the creators really cooked or not. I didn't really have time over the last couple weeks to really dial in a full-on episode of Comic Evolution. For those videos, I need to read at least 10 comic books, and life has just been too insane for all that. So for today's video, I only read one comic book. This channel has a predominant Marvel Rivals audience, but I will be interspersing comic book content featuring the heroes from Rivals in order to fill out the upload schedule. Just a heads up for all you rabid I Hate Jeffers out there. As much as I love this game, and believe me, I love this game, this channel will always be focused on the characters and the creators responsible for bringing those characters to life. There are other YouTubers out there to give you guides and tips and tricks. I'm not that guy. I'm an art and aesthetics guy, you dig? Alright, let's talk about the newest version of Deadpool. Then I'll tell you about my insane life. Stay tuned to the end of this video for a pretty big announcement. Wade Wilson Deadpool #1 came out February 11th, 2026. It was written by Benjamin Percy with art by Jeff Shaw. This is the debut issue of Deadpool's newest ongoing series. And to be upfront with you, I liked it a whole lot more than I thought I was going to. It's violent as hell and deals with themes of trauma and depression. While exploring these dark and gritty themes, this book never veers too far into the realms of taking itself too seriously. Deadpool uses a lot of things to deal with his pain. Humor has always been one of them. His jokes aren't always for everyone, that's for sure, but this book makes great use of how Deadpool uses his witty quips in order to process trauma. If you're only a Marvel Rivals player and not so much into the reading of the comic books, this could be a very good jumping on point if you're looking to start reading the source material. So let's jump into the issue, break it down, but before we do, however, how's about I get a like and sub from you? If you got a couple hype points laying around, I wouldn't mind some of those as well. Alright. Cool. So, our story begins in Wisconsin on a farm run by illicit drug manufacturers as a new batch of heifers arrive in a truck. One of the cows begins to moo up a storm as she exits the truck. A farmer believes this cow to be pregnant. As he puts his head in for a closer look, he takes a bullet to the dome. Turns out Deadpool Trojan horsed his way into this rural crime lab inside the guts of a living cow. Very creative, Wade, and this is setting the tone for the book right off the bat. Very effective. When the farmers realize that they're under attack, they rain hellfire down upon Deadpool. But due to his healing factor, the farmers are unable to take DP down. After blowing everyone up and defeating all the bad guys, it is revealed that Wade was telling this story to Hammerhead, the crime boss who hired him to take out that group of drug dealers he called the Heartlanders. I think this is an excellent introduction to Wade if you've never read any of his books. It lets you know exactly what his role in the Marvel Universe is and the basics of his powers. The humor doesn't come across as hand-fisted, and all the jokes enhance and inform the narrative at play. Nothing feels just shoved in there. He's not just like breaking the fourth wall left, right, and center just to do it. It's wonderful. They're just telling a story. You love to see it. We learn that he has a healing factor that prevents him from dying. We're also made aware that Wade has cancer, and that healing factor I just mentioned only makes it worse, but it also prevents him from succumbing to it, ensuring that he just lives forever in unending chronic pain. All of that info is placed at our doorstep, packaged with a ton of dynamic action, over-the-top violence, and quick wit. The writing here lays everything out and piques interest on what could be next for the merc with the mouth. I love the panel-to-panel storytelling by artist Jeff Shaw. I'm impressed with his skill at drawing all sorts of interesting camera angles, low angles, high angles, close-ups, wide shots. He keeps everything so fun and engaging. This is a great setup by both artist and writer, and it leads so smoothly into the next big emotional beat. That's right, Bucky. This Deadpool story has an emotional beat. Get ready to empathize. And still, no alarming, jarring, fourth wall breaks to take you out of the action. so good. In this next act of the story, it shows that Deadpool is psychologically unhinged. After receiving the payment for dismantling the Heartlanders, Wade practically begs Hammerhead to shoot him right then and there and steal back the cash. This leads to Hammerhead to ask Deadpool, "What's wrong with you?" And then he gets his security detail to shoot Wade and steal back the cash. What's wrong with you would become the central theme to this story. What the hell is wrong with Deadpool anyway? He tells us, the reader, that he used to not know what was wrong with him, but now he's fully aware. Then it cuts to the next scene without giving us the answer to the question, what is wrong with Deadpool? Why is he the way that he is? And this story looks like it's about to explain that. I like this as a narrative device. I think it's cool. It shows us that Wade has been on a journey of introspection and that the answer to that question will be revealed to us if we just keep reading. Why does Deadpool seek pain and punishment? Why does he keep putting himself in scenarios that are devastating to him and everybody around him? When we enter his world, we see his living arrangement, and it is so sad. We begin to empathize with the mercenary in red even more here. We cut to Bushwick, where we see Deadpool is living in Blind Al's basement apartment. He just sits around all day eating cereal and watching TV. Blind Al and Wade fight the entire time they're in panel, but there's an editor note that tells us that they actually love each other. As the fight rages on, it is revealed to us that Blind Al took Wade in after a very ominous and cryptic quote-unquote bad thing happened. They don't go into detail about that bad thing, but it's another indicator that Wade is dealing with a pretty heavy emotional burden. As Deadpool storms out of the apartment mid-fight, we're really starting to get a sense that something really is wrong with this guy. As if we didn't already know it. He seems like he's in constant pain, horrible at maintaining relationships, and quick to burn everything down. While Deadpool leaves the apartment in Bushwick, he heads to a top of a skyscraper in Manhattan. Here, he laments about ending it all. It's clear Deadpool is tremendously sad. While he's sitting there atop a building, with only the darkest thoughts running through his head, we get the next clue as to what could be wrong with Deadpool. While he's sulking, he is faced with a flashback of his daughter Ellie calling out to him. When we turn the page, we see that this vision of Ellie drove Deadpool into tears as he cries out that he's so sorry. This is a man battling intense guilt over the loss of a child, or something. That's at least how it seems by the information that we're given so far. As he cries, a piece of paper falls from the sky. Deadpool catches it and he uses it to wipe away his tears. After, he notices that the paper says a taxi will hit a purple car. Deadpool is not impressed by the piece of paper, so he tosses it away just before a taxi does indeed hit a purple car. The note kept predicting exactly what was going to happen before telling Deadpool a terroristic group of clowns will take control of the F train and 271 people will die unless he saves them. So, before we get to learn the depths of Wade's pain, he's called into his hero arc. And we're left right then and there on this cliffhanger. And I feel that it's very effective. We have enough info to know what Wade is dealing with and how it's informing his motivations and decisions. When it comes to Deadpool, the question is always, how do we add stakes to this story involving a man who can't die? And I feel that this book is off to a good start in achieving those stakes by introducing us to Blind Al and Wade's familial trauma. I'm hyped to see how Deadpool's hero arc intertwines with the seemingly dark family situation. I gotta say, I love how Jeff Shaw draws Deadpool. It's not as stylized as Chris Bachalo's version, but it's much more expressive and dynamic than when he was first introduced by Rob Liefeld in the 90s for New Mutants number 98. The costume in this book sticks very closely to the traditional comic book Deadpool design. Red bodysuit with black accents and pouches everywhere. He's got the logo right there in the middle on his belt buckle. There are no big shifts in the character's attire whatsoever. What I love about Shaw's approach is how he draws the wrinkles and folds on the mask and suit. It really feels like cloth on top of a human body here. The line work is so delicate and it seems to shift and move with the action on the panels. It's tremendous. Jeff's style also feels like the characters are acting and they're not just a series of figures placed in poses uses to illustrate an illusion. Like I mentioned earlier, I love the camera placements he employs as well. He's also not afraid to keep the camera static if it serves the story. Take this page for example. Here, Deadpool is describing his adventure, and the artist chose to keep the camera static so we can immerse ourselves into the scene and feel like we're the ones sitting across from Deadpool at the breakfast table. If the camera jumped around all over the place in the scene, it would still be cool. Sure, but showing restraint like that at the right time can have a massive impact on the reading experience. Keeping the panel structure to a 9-panel grid also locks us into the moment with a fictional character. I'm absolutely loving the artistic choices Jeff Shaw is making to help tell this story. The way he draws Wade's skin underneath the suit is also horrific and disturbing, while also being over the top and cartoony. Like this close-up of his jaw after Deadpool smashes a pot of hot coffee into his own face. Or when he's just sitting in Blind Al's basement apartment, eating a bowl of cereal, wearing nothing but a banana hammock. Wade's cancerous sores look painful and quite frankly, disgusting. Wade's hideous appearance only serves to add to the emotional burden that he carries around. He's ugly, he's always in chronic pain, he seeks destruction, and on top of all that, he's carrying around a certain guilt surrounding his failure as a father. I'm intrigued to see how he navigates this entire mess. And that, my friends, is issue 1 of this new Deadpool ongoing. Have you read it? Have you even heard about it yet? Either way, I want to know. Now, I want to tell you all about my crazy ass life. So, I run another channel here on YouTube all about punk music. The channel started back in 2012, and I just got the biggest opportunity in that channel's history. You see, one of the bands that I've been discussing over there is a punk band that started in the 80s but got huge in the 90s. They're called NoFX. To make a long story short, the singer of that band, Fat Mike, somehow found my channel and saw the videos that I made of his band. Well, NoFX retired late last year. Turns out they made a documentary that chronicles their entire career called 40 Years of Fucking Up. And they're premiering it in Austin, Texas this year around the South by Southwest Music Festival. And all this is happening in 2 weeks. But here's where I come in. Keep in mind, I have no contact with this band. I'm only a fan. I've only made videos about them. And they were one of my favorites growing up. So one day, about a month ago, I opened up Instagram to a notification that their singer, Fat Mike, followed me. This took me by surprise. Why the hell is Fat Mike following me? I had no idea he even knew who I was. Shortly after the follow came through, Mike DM'd me. Now, Fat Mike is sliding into my DMs. What could he possibly be wanting to say to me? So I let it sit for a little bit, and then I open it, and it turns out this guy, who's the singer of one of my all-time favorite bands, messaged me out of the blue to invite me to Texas to the premiere of his band's documentary. Absolutely insane. I'm not a huge YouTuber, and I've kind of trolled Fat Mike for years, so I have no idea what he's planning on doing here. Either way, I was a little shocked, to say the least. But there were a couple problems keeping me from accepting the invitation. First, I live so far away from Texas, and I'm also very broke. I had to reluctantly email Mike to decline the invitation. Sorry, Fat Mike, can't go to your film festival thing. My bad. Film festival thing. Anyway, I was bummed because this would have been kind of cool as hell for me and my audience. Turns out Mike wants me there so bad, he offered to fly my ass out to Texas on his dime. What the actual hell? How is this my life? With that offer, of course, I'm gonna try everything in my power to make that happen. He made this offer to me while I was in the middle of one of the biggest events in the channel's history. Over there, I was releasing a comic book of my own, and I was in the middle of selling them, packaging them up, and getting that all ready for distribution. And now, last minute, I have to figure out so much stuff while I'm trying to get these comics out and everything. I've been trying to get everything together at the midnight hour, which is why the last 2 weeks on this channel have looked a little bit differently. I appreciate you so much for rocking with the channel, and I suggest you follow my main channel if you want to keep up with this insane adventure. It's Dan Frampton, all one word, and I hope to see you over there. The link in the description. My love for comics and video games is still going strong, and to be honest, it supersedes punk rock at this stage of my life. So this channel over here, I Hate Jeff, is so very, very important to me. But this other opportunity that's happening on my main channel, I just can't say no to, obviously. I'm still gonna try to get weekly uploads here as I try to balance everything out. Like, for Christ's sake, I'm writing this script right now at work to economize my time. So that's the skinny. I really hope you stick around for this next chapter in my creative life. I have no idea what the future holds, but I'm excited to follow my nose to the next stop in this adventure. Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye, see you later, and have a good one.